Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, in the previous class students, we have seen in the chapter tissue, that is what are the different types of plant tissues, including the simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. In a simple permanent tissue students, in simple permanent tissue, we have seen that it is basically categorized into three types, and that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. In case of a complex permanent tissue, it is divided into xylem and phloem. We have seen that xylem is also divided into four formed elements, that is called as xylem trachete, xylem vessel, then xylem fiber and xylem parenchyma. As well as we have seen that in case of a phloem, which is responsible for carrying out the food and minerals, food and solutes, they are basically, we can say it is also divided into four elements, and that is sieve tubes, then companion cell is there, phloem fiber is there, and phloem parenchyma is there. These are the four formed elements present in that of the xylem as well as in the phloem students. Now here we have started to understand one more thing, and that is protective tissue. That what do we understand by protective tissue? So let us see that meristematic tissue, permanent tissues are there, as well as there is another type of a tissue which is called as a protective tissue. So we can write here it is protective tissues. What are the protective tissues? It is the outermost part of the plant. Obviously, whenever we say that it is there for protection, it means here we are talking about the peripheral region, students. See, in case of a cell membrane, we said it is there to protect the cell. So anything which is just outside, which is present at the periphery, they are basically, most of the time, they are responsible for the protection. So we can say that it is the outermost layer layer of plant organ. It is the outermost layer of the plant organs, and basically we can say that it is usually single cell thick. Usually single cell thick. Okay, it is usually single layer structure. It is also a continuous layer. Continuous layer of aerial part So we can say here that epidermis are what? This is the outermost layer of the plant organ, and here they are, when you look at the cell structure, student, you will find that it is a single layer and it is a continuous layer. Meaning of the continuous layer is that it does not consisting of any kind of intracellular spaces between them or intercellular spaces between them. Okay, so that's why it is a continuous layer. Now, in case of the one more thing is there, that it is responsible for giving protection to the plant, as well as it is present at the peripheral region of the roots, stems, as well as leaves. Now, let us talk about the roots. In case of a root, the epidermal layer, this epidermis, from the epidermis only, a hair like a strand came out, and this hair like a strand is called as the root hair. What is the role of a root hair? Root hair is responsible for absorption of water. You know that roots basically they goes deep inside the earth in order to receive water. And the root hairs which came out from these roots only, they also get spread so that a good amount of water will be absorbed by the plant. So from the epidermal layer, a hair which we call as a root hair also came out. Next is root hair. Root hairs present on the epidermal layer of the root. Even in the stems also, stems epidermis students. If you look at the stem of the epidermis students, so earlier when it is at a young stage, at that time there is no issue. But yes, when it will become old, then it will get dry, it will get rupture. And this rupture is called as, this rupture is with pore is present in that of the stem, and this is called as a lenticel. So we can say here that when the plant matured, at that time stems are also, even the stem epidermal layer is having the pores in it, which we call as a lenticels. So here we can say that ruptured opening, called lenticels in stems occurs due to the thickening in the stem. Okay, so rupture is there, rupture opening will be there, and that is called as a lenticel, which is basically present at the stem region, and it will happen, this rupture opening occur when the plant grow and mature, because at that time what happens, there will be increase in the thickness of the stem, and due to which this lenticel are formed. So root, we see root hairs are there, lenticels are there. What happened in case of the leaves, students? In case of the leaves, you will find that the layer is not continuous, because in between there are stomata are present. So stomata are also present at the epidermal surface. When you will take off the peel of a leaf, then and see it under the microscope, you will find that this consisting of a stomata. It means the epidermis of the leaf is not continuous, and these stomata is guarded by the guard cells, which help in controlling or regulating the opening and closing of the stomata. What is the role of the stomata? It helps in the process of a transpiration. Basically, it is there in order for the gaseous exchange, as well as in order to prevent a loss of a water. Excess amount of a water do not get lost, that will be prevented, or that will be regulated, controlled by that of the stomata present on the leaves. Okay, so guard cells are also present. Stomata for the exchange of gases occurs in the leaves epidermis. In case of hydrophytes, in hydrophytic plant, it means the plants which are aquatic plant. In order to reduce the process of transpiration, they are having a wax layer coating is present. This will not only help in protection, but that will also help in protecting it from the fungal parasite, from the attack of a fungal parasite. So here we can add one more thing, that is the aerial part that leaves, or the aerial part, any of the aerial parts to you, aerial part of the plants have thin, shiny, waxy layer, thin waxy layer, which is resistant to water. Okay. This will prevent only, it helps in preventing water loss, help in preventing water loss, as well as mechanical injury, attack of fungal parasite. Okay, so this is another kind of a thing which we can say, it means the another kind of a layer which is present on the epidermis, and that also perform a kind of a protection to the plant, to the internal part. Then the next one is the epidermal layer of a dry plants. The plants which are xerophytic plants, which lives in a dry climates, they are having shrunken stomata, and the surface is also covered with a waxy substance. So the plants which are living in a dry climate, they are having a thick waxy coating in order to protect the plant from the loss of water, and that is called as a cutin. So cutin is present in the plant living in a dry climatic condition. In order to protect the layer from water loss. In order to protect it from water loss. So this is what, student, this is about the epidermis, which is a kind of a protective tissue. Okay, so this is the first one, protective tissue, that is epidermis. Now let us see the another kind of a protective tissue, student, which we call as a cork. Let us see what is a cork. So cork is what? It is actually formed by the activity of the lateral meristem in older stem. Then it is what? It is very light. light and highly compressible. Highly compressible. Because of that, it does not catches fire. Cork consisting of a waxy layer on it, which is called as suberin. It has a chemical, cork cell have a chemical called suberin. It is called as suberin, and this suberin will make the layer impervious. Impervious means it do not allow the exchange of the gases or the water from it. Impermeable. So, cork is impervious for gases and water. So cork is what? This is also a kind of a protective tissue, students. They are generally what? These cork are present at the lateral meristem in the older stem. They are light as well as highly compressible. When you see the cell, you will find that there is a chemical substance present on the cork, which is called as suberin. And because of the presence of the suberin only, you will find it is impervious. It means it is impermeable to gases and water. Obviously, it is a protective tissue. It helps in protecting the woody tissues, and due to which means it's a kind of an insulation or it's a kind of a waterproof, since it do not allow the water as well as the gases to pass out from it. So it is a insulator. It is a kind of a waterproof, and because of that, it is also used as a shock absorber. So, we can say here that it is used for insulation, and it is waterproof. Then insulation, waterproof, and protection to the woody tissues. The underlying means beneath the woody tissues. It is used as a shock absorber. It is used as a shock absorber. So this is what, student, these are the two different types of a protective tissue, including the cork or epidermis. Both of them, they are helpful. They are there in order to protect the underlying tissue. Beneath tissue means this is it help in the protection, giving protection to the underlying tissue. Okay, so this is about the protective tissue. So we have understood here what are the different kind of tissues are there in plant, including the meristematic tissue, then permanent tissue, and finally the protective tissue also. So this is all about the plant tissue. Now let us start with the animal tissues. So in case of a plant tissue, the division was in two, that is meristematic and permanent tissue, and then further division happens. Here in this case means in animal tissues are basically classified into four types of students, and these four divisions are, the first one is the epithelial cell. Epithelial tissues. The second one is the muscular tissue. The third one is the connective tissues. And finally, fourth one is the nervous tissue. Okay, so epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue and nervous tissue, these all are what different types of animal tissue. Now let us see that what is the origin of the epithelial tissue. So the origin is, obviously it is present at the upper surface, so it will be ectoderm. Okay, although the origin actually happens here from ecto, endo and meso also. So we can write here that origin is ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. While in case of muscular tissue, the origin is mesoderm. In case of a connective tissue, it is mesoderm again, while in case of a nervous tissue, it is ectoderm. So in case of an epithelium tissue, the origin is ecto, meso and endo. Here both of them is meso, and finally nervous tissue where the origin is ectoderm. Now collectively we will see that what is the basic functions of all three, and then we will see it in detail. Starting with the first one, that is epithelial tissue. What is the role of the epithelial tissue? So here, in case of epithelial tissue, the major function is protection, absorption, as well as secretion. So it helps in protecting, lot of a thing will get absorbed, and finally it also works as to secrete anything, secrete the substances. So that also function of the epithelial tissue. Then in case of a connective tissue and the muscular tissue, in case of a muscular tissue, that will help in contraction and movement. In case of a connective tissue, that will help in giving protection, support, shape maintenance, immunity as well as storage. While in case of nervous tissue, I am writing it here, nervous tissue, it will be conduction and coordination. Conduction and coordination. These are the major function of epithelium, muscular, connective tissue and the nervous tissue. It is generated, the origin of the epithelial is ecto, endo and meso. Here both of them is from the mesoderm and ecto is of the nervous tissue. Function is it helps in protection. protection, absorption, secretion, muscular, that will help in the contraction. It will also help in the movement. We know that it is our muscle only which help in the movement of the organism. Now, connective tissue, yes, it will help in providing the protection and immunity because it consisting of a WBC, white blood cells are responsible for that. It helps in providing support. Yes, bones are there, students, which we also, bones and cartilage are there, so that will help in providing the flexibility. As well as along with the flexibility, that will also help in providing mechanical strength, that will help in giving support to us so that we can stand. So support, shape maintenance, obviously this is also a role of the bones, which is a part of a connective tissues, and storage. You see, students, bones, the kind of a skeletal body you have, the shape of your body will be like that. In case of a nervous tissue, conduction and coordination. So it helps in transferring the information in the form of electrical impulses from the receptor to the brain with the help of a neuron, sensory neuron, and again it will give the information. The brain will interpret it, process it, and finally it will give the information in the form of electrical impulses to the effector. Effector here, it means that body part which will going to work on it, which will respond to the stimulus. Okay, so it used to conduct as well as coordinate with the brain and the spinal cord, with the brain and the body, and that will help in giving the exact response to the stimulus. So this is what, these are the 4 different types of tissues which is a part or which is division in an animal tissue. Now let us start with the first one, and that is epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue. What is the epithelial tissue? This is the tissue which is present at the external surface of the person. Okay, external surface. So we can write here the first point in the epithelial tissue, and that is these tissues forms the external or internal surface, external or internal surface of the body organ. Of the body organ. Then next one, that is these are present on the surface of the organ in the form of protective sheath. In the form of a protective sheath. Now let us see what are the different important features of the epithelial tissue. Important features. First one is, that is, these are present very close to each other. That is why they say that it is what? It is a continuous layer also. Okay, highly closed and form a continuous sheath. So the cells In the epithelial tissue, are present very close to each other. Are present very close to each other. Very close to each other and form continuous sheath. Form continuous sheath. Next one is, that is a small amount of cementing material is present between the cell. So this is small amount of a cementing material which is present between the cell that will help in making it a highly packed continuous sheath. Okay.